Intellectual property protection and forced technology transfer are two key issues for US businesses in China. Both are addressed in the Phase 1 deal. CGTN's Mark New is in California and tells us how tech companies are reacting.
I just spoke to Peter Leroux-Munoz, who is the VP of Tech and Innovation at the Silicon Valley Leadership Group. They represent about 400 companies in the area, including big tech companies like Google and Intel. He told me the leadership group consistently opposed tariffs. Phase 1 is a welcome start. We hope this is really kind of the beginning of continued discussions and continued agreements between the two countries to address larger structural issues. But he went on to ask, what are we going to do to reduce the remaining tariffs in place? The agreement does not remove all existing tariffs on the U.S. or Chinese side. So while there are some cuts in agreements not to proceed with new tariffs, the existing ones still remain. That's on many electronic components, which are the lifeline of Silicon Valley. Now, he said member companies were very cautiously optimistic. This is an issue that has continued for 18 months, considerably longer than many had anticipated. So this is really just a first step. Now, as I took a look at the agreement, Section 1 is all about IP protection. It goes into great detail on the subject, about 16 pages, including bringing up an interesting shift in the burden of proof, in that as long as the accuser provides reasonable evidence of trade secret misappropriation, it's the accused that has the burden of proof in providing evidence to prove it did not commit the violation. Now, compare that to the forced technology transfer section. That's when a company enters China and is compelled by the government to share private technology or sensitive technology with Chinese companies. Chinese companies can gain access to foreign companies' technology, and the fear is that several months or years down the road, they could become a direct competitor. There are only about 2 pages on forced technology transfers, and it's far more generic. For example, one main heading says neither party shall require or pressure persons of the other party to transfer technology to its persons in relation to acquisitions, joint ventures, or other investment transactions. Leroux-Munoz says most of those statements are sort of like a statement of intent. There are principles we will work towards, but the instruments and mechanisms by which to achieve that are not laid out well. Again, much depends upon the follow-up details and the future enforcement.